Welcome everybody to the Submission Fishing Live podcast. I'm your host Muto. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you're good. Another Thursday, another day closer to the fishing weekend for many of you. I hope. Got a show for you today. It's just going to feature a lot of questions and answers. I've been getting a lot of questions and stuff on Instagram and Facebook and even here on YouTube. So just figured we'd answer some questions, hang out a little bit. So if you guys have any topics or questions you want to discuss, let me know. We got some good news, actually some decent stories, and some pretty good announcements too. Stuff we got to talk about, so it should be pretty cool. Yeah, just me today, no guests, just a chill stream, and just have some fun and talk for an hour about some fishing, primarily saltwater fishing. If you guys are new to the show, um, we do talk all kinds of fishing, but it's primarily saltwater. Anywhere time from the bays offshore, any of that stuff. But I have done some freshwater, but it's not really my expertise. But if you got freshwater questions, a lot of the guys in the chat here, they probably know a lot more than me. So feel free to hit them up. See who we got now today. First one in, Jesse Brumet. Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us, Jesse. Brian Palmer, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Michael Tran, Oos, what's going on? Cave Dog, Cal, good to see you again. Glad you're here. Doc Stalker, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Spinning Water Rebel, Marvin, good to see you. Captain Dan, where are you today? Oos, East Coast greetings. Looking forward to the show. Thank you, Captain Dan. Where are you today? If you're on the East Coast. You guys don't know Captain Dan, he does all kinds of stuff. Motocross, announcing, captaining boats, producing TV shows, surviving plane crashes. He's done it all. Dave Ray, Juice, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Leonard, what's going on, man? Glad to see you. Yeah, Jesse, still up in Washington. Can't work remotely to build fishing rods. I met one of your coworkers, Jesse, at forget who he was, but somebody came up from the G Loomis. They came up and said, "What's up?" at the what was it, PCS show? I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Said he worked with you up there and said he had to come by and say what's up. So that was pretty cool. Let's see here. So announcements. One of the announcements that I want to bring up is that there's the Apps and Taps is going on, guys. And in years prior, I feel like we've hit this a lot harder than we have, but this has really just come up pretty quick. For those of you guys that don't know, the Apps and Taps get together. It's a CCA event, and I'm going to put the link here. So if you guys want to join, so it's this Saturday. Um, Basically, the CCA puts on an event. It's at down in San Diego, like the Point Loma area. I think it's if this one's the same, it should be at the Portuguese Hall. But it's the time of year we get together. Um, I meet a lot of you guys. You show up that I haven't fished with in a long time. I know Cal likes to go. Dario's there a lot, and I see a lot of you guys. It's a CCA thing, and a lot of it, goes to the CCA. Obviously, it's a production they put on. There's live music. They have beer and stuff like that, and then the appetizers. I think it's $75 to get in. That includes a membership to the CCA, and then like last year it was the drinks, and then food was included. And it was pretty cool. It's just a time to hang out with everybody, but that's coming up quick. Um, like I said, in years past, I feel like we've talked about it a lot more before. I didn't even know it was kind of really going on until Kevin made a post. Kevin Nakata, he's on the show a lot. He works for the CCA, and I saw it on his Instagram feed, and I was like, "Oh man, that's already coming up." So I bought my ticket, bought it today. I encourage you guys to buy your tickets and go help support the CCA. And yeah, so it is Saturday at the Portuguese Hall. So if you guys can make it, do come by. It's cool. They've got like raffles and stuff like that. So you can buy raffle tickets. There's lots of good prizes. Submission fishing, we've donated um, a prize pack. So we've got, I don't know if they're going to auction it or raffle it, depending what they're going to do. But it was a couple $100 worth of jigs. So if you guys want to check that out, there's usually a lot of great prizes and stuff. The food was really good last year. I remember they had like pokey and was it like teriyaki chicken and stuff like that. It all kinds of stuff. It was really good. Um, Got to see some line dancing. These guys were getting crazy. Once they got a couple beers in them, everybody was out there dancing on the dance floor. But yeah, if you guys can make it, definitely show up, man. It's really fun. It's cool seeing you guys, especially now. Like we used to, like during the lockdowns of 2020, we used to have like a lot of get-togethers. We'd fish with a lot of you guys like every weekend. Obviously, as things have opened up, since the government lockdowns, over the past couple years. Um, it seems like we don't have the uh, same like outings that we used to. There was something that we used to have. A lot of people work from home; they had a lot of free times. But it seems like everybody's kind of gone back and back in the swing of things. So it's cool. We have these events every couple times a year. We get together and say what's up. So if you guys have the means, make it down. Like I said, I just put the link in there. CCA Apps and Taps, the Portuguese Hall. It's always a good event, man. Um, Live music, the whole deal. You guys gonna have live music again? Let me know, Arnie. Yeah, Arnie's in the know. If you guys have any questions, obviously ask Arnie. He's in the know. He's usually there taking pictures and stuff like that. He's works with the CCA as well, so hit him up. El Charlie, what's going on, man? How are you? You guys check out his artwork on Instagram. We got some good stuff. TV Metal Art Oos, what's going on? Todd, glad to see you. I provided official Captain Dan's pizza to be served fresh. Oh, you guys, this is news. So if you guys have not, this is breaking news. If you guys have not tried Captain Dan's pizzas, you guys were always talking about him. He makes them on the boats. He makes them at a lot of the events that we go to. So he's gonna be serving fresh at the Apps and Taps. I mean, if you guys don't have a ticket now, you definitely got to go get that pineapple pizza. He makes the best one in the business. But yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that, Captain Dan. That's awesome. So if you guys want to meet Captain Dan, try some of his pizzas that we're always talking about on the show. Uh, Now's your chance, man. That's a lot of work, Captain Dan. So I really appreciate that. I see you putting in the work at a lot of these events, and it does not look easy. That's for sure. So I just want you to know we really appreciate that, and it doesn't go unnoticed, at least for me. And I know a lot of these guys understand how much work goes into that. So we really appreciate you doing that sort of stuff. Andres Us going out on the Pegasus tomorrow morning on a 2-day slow pitch jig charter. Hopefully the bike continues on bluefin. And news recently, what has been working at night. New news recently, what has been working at night. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same stuff, as far as I know. As far as the tuna goes, like the night bite is still kind of been the thing. The day bite has been on or off. I don't think there's been too many foamers. People sometimes they surface every now and then, but I think you're still probably going to be a night bite thing is definitely what it's been the ticket the last couple weeks here. But yeah, it looks like that they've been showing up more than they have in the last couple of weeks, which is good. May wasn't that great for bluefin. There was some runs that went really good, but hopefully June gets better, man. We're already June 15th, which is crazy. So halfway through June already. Arnie said sushi on a roll. We'll be serving sushi and poking, and we got them 100. So dang. So you guys listen. Get into Apps and Taps. $75. You get a ticket to the CCA. You get into the event. You can have sushi on a roll. They're gonna be serving sushi and poke. They got 130-pound bluefin that was donated, so you get fresh bluefin tuna, and Captain Dan's gonna be making pizzas. I mean, just for that, it's worth going, 100%. So check it out, guys. I'll be there. I think Roman's gonna be there too. I caught some of his show yesterday, and I think he's gonna show up. So if you guys don't know Roman, check out his show. He does a live show too on Wednesdays. He does a lot of the like the Spotty Bowl like announcement shows and stuff is kind of their bread and butter these days. Old Guys Rock will be playing there live. Yeah, they were the ones last year too. Yeah, that was cool. Brian Palmer says, "Hey Muto, going to the Channel Islands on Saturday. Should I try slow pitch for white sea bass or just stick with the squid? You try both. I went to the Channel Islands a couple of weeks ago. Nobody caught bass. It was mostly halibut. We did halibut fishing for the morning, and the bite was like they were very very slow. Kind of every drift, maybe somebody got one or every couple drifts. So it's been heating up. I think the past couple of weeks we had the full moon, and we're actually kind of going into the new moon now. A lot of people swear by the moon phase, especially for like white sea bass and halibut. So hopefully it stays good. But yeah, they'll definitely eat a slow pitch jig. The squid, if they've got squid, use the squid. But yeah, I wouldn't shy away. It all depends what the bite's like, If you want to get a couple, maybe try the squid. If the squid's working, I'd say go for the squid. Hit the squid. If you get one, then switch to slow pitch. But if you're going and people are fishing squid and the squid's not working, then I would definitely try on a slow pitch. But typically, if they're eating, like if they're gonna if they're popping off the squid, they'll eat a slow pitch jig. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be a thing. But yeah, it's hard to say. It all depends how the bite is, what how finicky it is and what they're looking for. But I'd say if it's slower, try the slow. Try it either way. Now that I think about it, because if they're biting, they'll probably bite a jig, and even if it's slow, they're probably more likely to bite a jig than that squid. But it's just funner on the jigs. But if they're only keyed in on the squid, you got to do what you got to do. But um, I slow pitched the halibut. Last time I was out there, it was really slow. I think we'd been fishing for like an hour, hour and a half. We only had one halibut on the boat, and I dropped in. I was actually fishing like a Carolina leader with live bait, and then um, I switched to a slow pitch jig and threw down. We were in really shallow, and I just tossed an assassin out, and first cast got one on the slow pitch jig. So it was slow, and like I tried something new and sent one down. No pineapple pizza for those brothers. Only pineapple pizza. Dana Landing Market providing pulled pork for the sliders that we will be. Hey, you guys, there'll be all kinds of stuff there. Sushi, pulled pork, pizzas. You guys can't go wrong. You got to get in on that. Vampire fishing. Are you guys fishing for Corvina? David Chrisman, welcome to the show. Who's glad you could join us? Danny Perez, what's going on, man? Who's glad you could join us? Michael Tran said the 220 worked really well for rockfish. Killed it on the Mirage in April. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's this one right here, the 220. That's pretty good. That's like a good baseline, especially if you're only doing 250, 350 feet. That's a good one. I've got 2 trips planned in July, a 2-day on the Ocean Odyssey and an overnight on the Producer. Hell yeah. I'm curious, man, to see what's happening. I'm going to go on a day and a half in next Wednesday, the 21st and 22nd. I'll be gone. We're going out on the Pacific Queen, and hopefully it's the same thing. I mean, hopefully the bite picks up. It like it hasn't picked up. It's been pretty good, depending how deep you go. If you're going like those 2-day trips, I think you can get deep enough where you can at least get yellowtail. I mean, a lot of those 2 days are at least coming back with yellowtail, finding some of the patties and stuff like that. But one of the boats limited out tonight. I think the Legend, they hit limit, so they got 2 bluefin each down in Mexico because it was a day and a half, and then they got like 100 rockfish too. So they stocked up on their boat. They're starting to hit limits. I think it's going good. Just the water, it's still slow or still cold up here. We've been hearing it's supposed to be like this El Nino is coming in, right? The El Nino waterfront, you guys don't know, usually starts down near the equator in South America, and then it's a warm front that hits the water, hits the atmosphere, and then it usually pushes itself up. So when the El Nino hits, we're waiting for that water current to come from south to north, from South America, push its way up that warm water, but hasn't been here yet. I was out Saturday on my boat, and it was only like it was still like 64-degree water. It was still pretty cold. But people are seeing tuna all the way up in like the Channel Islands, but it's just like they're here, they're there, they kind of disappear. Just hasn't quite blown up yet, but we're still kind of waiting for that. But yeah, Dave, hopefully you do well, man. Got to go get them. Well, that was Landon that I met at PCS. Yeah, I told him to come see you at the show. We'll be going to ICAST in Orlando next month. Or will I be going to ICAST? No, Kevin will be there, though. Kevin will be going to ICAST. I'm actually, when is ICAST? It's in July, right? I know Kevin's going down. I might be there, actually. I might show up a day or two. We'll have to see what happens. I have another house in escrow in Florida that I'm closing on the 22nd of this month. So I might be down there, actually, if I'm going to go check this place out. It needs a lot of work, but maybe there actually is a chance I could go to ICAST. I'm not really planning on it, but if I can get down there for a day or two, I might, because I might be in Florida anyways. The place I'm looking at or purchasing, it's still 2 hours, kind of hour and a half, 2 hours from Orlando. But if I can get down there, Kevin Nakata will definitely be there, though. So he's ready to wheel and deal and get it done. Ironfish, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Dang, more stuff. Desserts will be made by the same folks that had. Oh yeah, they brought the cupcakes last year. Hell yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Apps and Taps CCA event, check it out. I put the link in here. I'll put it in again. If you guys can make it, please make it. Come say what's up. Support the CCA. It's a great time. I've been like 2 years, and it's been really good. Benji, Tomacott Moreno, Oos, good evening. You from Cali? You down here in California right now, or are you still in Arizona? I'll be there. It's the 11th to the 16th, I think. Okay. Oh, that's cool. You get to go, man. See, that's perks of the job. Looks like you upgraded for sure. Corey King, Oos, welcome to the show. Yeah, I was just telling them we'll go ahead and it's Corey King's actually the one putting on the trip for the Pacific Queen that will be on in the 21st and 22nd. So that'll be pretty cool. Manny Fresh, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Let's see here. Other announcements. Let's see. We've got, oh, yeah, Corey, you'd be interested in this. The Tech Outfitters in Utah, they're our first store out of state that's carrying the submission jig. So shout out to Tech Outfitters in Utah. And Save on Tackle picked us up as well. So a couple new tackle stores getting the submission jig. So if you guys want to get some more, if you're up in Utah, check them out and Save on Tackle. So I really appreciate that, you guys, taking on some more stores. And then here's a story. We'll move on to the news. Those are two announcements. We might hit on those some more if you guys have any questions about those. Salty Dangler, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Salty, you going to the Apps and Taps or what? This weekend, man. We're trying to get the crew together. That's where we had the new Max on the block last year. I know it's coming up. Trying to push it hard because I think everybody kind of forgot about it this year. All right. Bring up this story for you guys. It's kind of an interesting local story for us. And I'll put the link here. Sammy Prum, Oos, welcome to the show. Man, Sammy putting in that work, dude. You guys want to know how to catch some fish on the submission jigs? Go check out his Instagram channel, man. He's always popping up on those things. Fisherman's Access needs more. Yeah, they do. They just put in. I think I just sent them a few more, but yeah, they do like they tend to make like smaller orders. But yeah, to hit them up, man, just say, hey, if you guys want more, go tell them. Say we need more submission jigs. We'll stock them up. I'll be presenting art and what did you say that? Celia Taylor from The Searcher with a plaque recognizing them for the commitment to sports. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be a good event. Salty, you're going. Hell yeah. He'll be there at the Apps and Taps. Corey King gonna be at the Apps and Taps too. Heck yeah. Good job, guys. I'm glad you guys are making it out there. That's gonna be awesome. He does. Chat, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Yeah, he's putting them to use though, dude. Every time he's out there, he's killing them. But yeah, so this story certainly interesting. So I don't know if you guys heard about this, but I was searching for San Diego news, and two brothers accused of San Diego-based illegal fishing operations. It's kind of an interesting story. Two brothers are being sued by the city of San Diego, city attorney's office over allegations that they bought and sold fish for local restaurants without having the proper commercial fishing license. Tanner and Trevor Whitmarsh are accused of violating state law, generating nearly $30,000, wow, in profits by repeatedly selling fish caught in unlicensed excursions to San Diego seafood, sushi, and fish-related businesses. The city attorney office said in a news release Friday, if found liable in San Diego court, the brothers would have to end their illegal fishing business and pay financial penalties, authorities said. Illegal fishing operations endanger our marine ecosystem and threaten the fishing populations, City Attorney Maria Elliott said. Illegal acts also undercut licensed sellers who play by the rules. This action sends a strong message that we're committed to. But yeah, that's an interesting take because about the illegal fishing operations, because apparently these guys were fishing in Mexico and bringing the fish up. So I don't know. They're in the U.S. worried about like the threatening the fish populations. I don't know about all that because they weren't even fishing in the United States. But apparently they didn't have licenses in Mexico either. So it's all alleged, right? You got to give these guys their chance. But yeah, definitely the undercut of the sellers. I feel that for sure because somebody that has um that's a contractor and has a contracting business and license, that is a problem. It's like I wish we didn't have all these hoops that we had to jump through. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I have to do it. I have to pay taxes in order to run a business. I got to do everything legit, and it's extremely expensive. To have workman's comp insurance and employees and paying the state every year for just to be a corporation. It's like $800 just for nothing, just every year, just to be a corporation in California, and then all your fees. It is really expensive. So when people do undercut that, it's totally not fair. Because I think that's probably the biggest thing is people that do play by the rules. Trust me, I wish there was less regulations and I wish there was less red tape. And it's like I can get down behind that, but the fact that some of us have to abide by those rules and that others don't, it really is uh, it really does hurt the business because people they start scalping and getting stuff for cheap, and a lot of these people don't have licenses and insurance and stuff like that, and they don't have all the overhead, and they just go in there and cut your throat. And the crappiest part is a lot of times when they don't play by the rules, they just get off with like a slap on the wrist, and it's kind of shitty. So we'll see what happens with this. I've never really heard of that. I mean, on this scale, it's like $30,000 is pretty good. So they're making some money. Yeah. So it says Tanner they were accused of catching grouper, bass, parrotfish in Mexico, and then he sold to a La Misha sushi restaurant without filing the proper paperwork. City attorney's office said he sold 330 pounds of tuna he obtained from other unlicensed fishermen. Lied on the paperwork to claim he caught the tuna. Additionally, he alleged to sold 200 pounds of mako shark illegally. Yeah, so these guys, they might be in some trouble. I don't know what the penalty is for all that or what, but here's the other one. According to the Attorney General office, the two brothers caught fish in Mexican waters on their boats, but neither had a license to fish commercially in Mexico. So I don't think they had this stuff in Mexico or California. That's crazy, but we got the underground, the underground illegal fishing operation. That's crazy. Just thought that was a little interesting story to keep an eye on. I've always wondered that too. It's like sometimes you catch a bluefin and it's like you've always wondered if you can sell this thing, right? Especially when you catch like two or three, and it's like it would make sense. You got three bluefin, you can only take one, but you got to have the right credentials to do something like that. So don't get caught, guys. Don't go selling your fish that you shouldn't be selling. You do have to have licenses to fish commercially. You do have to have a license to sell it. Um, you can't just go out there and start selling fish illegally. I mean, 30K, right? Just to fish, that's some pretty good money. I feel like they're going to pay the price, though. Salty says, can we pay at the door or do we need to pre-buy the apps and taps tickets? Captain Dan says, you can pay at the door, Salty. So you guys, you don't have to go to the website that I linked. You can pay at the door. So if you guys want to show up to apps and taps, show up. My nephew from Utah coming in early for a Pacific Queen trip to hit the apps. That's awesome. That heck yeah. Hopefully it's gonna be good. That's right, man. Pay the tax man. Nobody escapes the tax man. SoCal Steve Oos, welcome to the show. It is the place to be, at least on Thursdays for an hour. When's the submission half day trip? Hopefully coming up quick. I've talked to a few people. I reached out to some boats, so we've got some things in the works. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we have something to reveal on that. At least the half day trip, we should be able to get in pretty easily and make it work. But yeah, hopefully in the next week or two, we'll have something to announce on that. Like I said, and I think we'll just do like a jigging only trip, but maybe not even stop for bait, and so we can get out to the grounds faster. I actually know some good spots. I can even give the captain. I went and prospect some areas yesterday, or not yesterday. I'm sorry. Last Saturday, I went out on like the 9 and found some pretty good rockfish spots. I mean, I'll even give them the numbers. I mean, I was getting fish on every freaking drop, doubles on the jigs and stuff like that. It was about 450 feet, 500 feet. That's definitely doable though. If we got like 600-gram jigs, but I'm thinking maybe we just do like even if we just did a half day rockfish, all jigging trip with like 600-gram jigs, I think it'd be fun as hell. Maybe I'll supply the jigs or something like that. Put it in the price. But yeah, I think that'd be cool. Doug Rubin, El Sueño Us, welcome to the show. Carl Black, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Doug Rubin, the yellows are biting. The yellow tails or the yellow fin? Probably the yellow tail. A little too early for the yellow fin, I think, but you never know. I think I saw a couple on some of the fish counts. So it might start creeping in here. And then in the other news, what was an interesting story, kind of a scary story, but the CJ is a boat actually out of Oxnard. I don't know if you guys saw the story, but it sank. It was full of people, full of passengers. This was a fishing boat out of the Oxnard that typically fish the Channel Islands. Um, the good news is everybody's okay. Everybody survived. I saw some pictures. Looks like there was another fishing boat there, and they got some help. So everybody got off. The captain, the crew. I think they were even able to save like tackle and stuff like that. I think I saw on Friedman had like a little thing, Friedman Adventures, and then I saw some other stories. I was checking out like their YouTube page, so it's kind of hard to say. Some report said that they hit the island. They hit Santa Rosa Island, or the rocks at Santa Rosa. I heard one saying it was the Santa Cruz Island, which is the one kind of in between. So I don't really know all the details, to be honest with you. I did, try to do a little homework. Fact of the matter is, the boat it sank. The CJ's it's gone. I think it was a staple in Oxnard for Channel Island fishing. Some of you might have even bet on that boat, but it's down there somewhere. It did went down, I think, a couple days ago. So uh, you guys just never know. Even when you go out on these big boats, you think they're big and they're safe, and I think they were relatively safe because everybody got off. So that was a good thing. But no matter what, even on these private boats, on your kayak, we just talk about guys sinking, going over. But this was a big fishing boat. I don't think it was a huge fishing boat. I bet from what I saw, it was like looked like one that held like maybe 15, 20 people. It wasn't like one of the larger ones, but it was still a commercial boat. So that was a CJ out of Oxnard. It's gone down in the fleet. So if you guys know anybody that works on that boat, maybe reach out to them, give them your condolences. The captain, I don't know any of them personally, but I'm just happy everybody made it out safe. I mean, that's the most important thing. It's tragic whenever you hear boats going down and people losing lives. I know a couple years ago there was that boat that caught on fire and everybody died. I think all the people in the cab, they were sleeping and the gasoline got in there. And yeah, I actually trained with somebody at their gym, and his sister was on that boat a couple years ago that went up in flames. So it's just tragic. And because of that, um, there's been all kinds of new regulations as far as like having fire escapes and stuff like that. So most boats you go on these days that are like overnight boats and have the cabins you sleep in, they always go over the escape route, let you know where fire extinguishers are. And that really wasn't a thing until that boat kind of went in. But I think Coast Guard has really kind of hit that hard in the last couple of years ever since that tragedy. So luckily, everybody survived. That's definitely a good thing. So I guess on the plus side of that, the bright side is there's a new wreck. There's going to be another artificial reef. So if anybody knows where the CJ went down, probably in a couple years, I mean, that'll be a good place to fish. So that's always kind of the silver lining on these things. Wrecks they're known hotspots for fish, and that one, kind of poetic, right? Like this boat that's fished there for all these years and harvest the land. I mean, ultimately, it's going to go down and probably be fished for many years to come and kind of be remembered. It's kind of tragic, but it's a circle of life too. You know how it'll be ultimately end up becoming a reef for fish to hopefully flourish and grow as well and be somewhere that people can fish. But yeah, this is crazy, crazy story. There was some video where people were like get some of the passengers off on the other boats and stuff. So it all worked out. Yeah, I just asked about it. They lost a bit of tackle. Yeah, Santa Cruz. Yeah, I heard Santa Cruz first. That's what I thought too. And then somebody said, was it Santa Rosa? So okay. So it looks like it is Santa Cruz Island. They hit crazy. Yeah, but to get most of that off, even if you got any of your tackle off on a sinking ship, that's a win, man. That's a huge win. You got everything. Yeah, the dive boat a couple years ago. Yeah, man. I forget the name of the boat, but that was crazy. Give back to the land, man. Yeah, 100%. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. That's for sure. it's one of those good reminders, you know. You just always be prepared. You know, don't take anything for granted. Just gotta be on your toes. Let's see here. All right. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna go over some of the questions we got. We actually had some good questions on Instagram. Usually I post the question on Instagram and everybody like I go and look at it and it's like 8 hours later they ask questions. And I don't think they realize it's like ask it before the show so I could ask it on the show. But I think most people left us some questions. We had some relevant stuff. Cave Dog wanted to know when is the next charter. Cave Dog, we're on it. We're still trying to do the full day this year, but we're also going to try to do a half day pretty quick here. Get something lined up. I feel like we can mobilize that pretty quick. And then the full day. I know I've been dragging ass on that, but like another submission at sea, I think would be cool. So soon, Cave Dog, soon. And then Lucas Espinoza wanted to know rigging the jigs for bluefin and which jigs to use for bluefin. That's a good question since we got a lot of bluefin trips coming in. And I'll show you guys kind of just the easiest way that I've been doing it lately instead of getting stuff like kind of all done up. This is a setup that's pre-made that you can get at the tackle store. We got a place in Vista that makes these things. And I think most tackle stores make them. And you really get them pre-made. They usually get them anywhere from like 80 gram line up to like 130 gram line. And what's cool is I think this one's actually fluoro. Some of them are mono, but they've got like the metal. They've got the crimp already on there. And then they've got the heavy duty swivel. I think this one's like 100 pound. And then it already comes with the hook as well. Usually these have a split ring. I think I took it off. But this is like the easiest way just to rig up your jigs. And what I do is I just tie the braid directly onto this thing, onto the ring. So that way you don't need to do a big top shot or a big line. It's pre-made. I think one of these are probably like $16 or something like that. But you can just leave it on. So you tie it onto the braid, leave this thing on, and then what you do is just switch your jigs accordingly. So if you guys can find these, most tackle stores I think make them. They make these in-house, but you get them crimped already. Man, it saves you from having to tie on there or trying to crimp stuff on. It's really super helpful. And what I do from there, I'll just take the jig and I just attach the jig to it. And then depending on the jig, right, I'll attach here. This one's the samurai, and I'll just run one hook on the back. I don't think I brought a hook, but I'll rig these up. I'll have like this and an ogre, and I'll just have one hook on the back, and I'll leave the nose always open. So that way I just attach here, and then if I want to put a different jig, say like a javelin, I'll just attach it there, and I don't worry about the top hook. So you just keep switching the hook or the jig depending on the situation you're in. So I put the ogre on this, the samurai, super easy. They're pre-made, everything's crimped already. You can't really see it, but there's where this is fluorocarbon, there's actually like a metal spring around it, so it helps with the abrasion and stuff like that. Good stuff. They come with the heavy duty mustad hook already, and you can get them in different sizes. Most tackle stores should have them. As far as tackle goes, or the jigs, the ogre is kind of, I didn't even have one out here. I've got a small ogre, but I bring anywhere from the 4 to 600 gram. This one's the samurai. This one's a little slower than the ogre. The ogre will get down faster. It's more of that knife jig style. So if you're fishing deep, I would go with a 4 to 600 gram jig. I'm talking deep. If like they're like 300 feet or deeper, you're going to want to go, that 500-600 range. Get down there fast so you don't scope out. And a cylindrical jig. And the ogre is really slender, and that thing just rockets down. Now, that kind of 250 range to 300, you can get away with the samurai. If the current's not bad, you can do the samurai. But it doesn't fall quite as fast, but it'll stay horizontal a little longer than the ogre will. So definitely I have those two depending on the depth. And then if they're a little more shallow, this is just like the more classic style. It's got the flat bottom. This is the javelin jig. And this is how I rig them. I rig my stuff up with just one single hook on each side. One decent size single. Some people do Everything from I've seen big treble hooks on the back, jobu hook, which is like really it's just like a standard hook, like a circle hook or even a J hook on the back of jigs. People do that, and I've seen like big monster treble hooks on the back as well. I personally don't like doing that because I don't like fighting the fish with the jig itself. I'd rather them hook the top, so that way I'm just fighting the hook with the fish in the line and not like people put only hooks on the back. Like that's kind of crazy, but you could do it. But you're relying on your that lead and everything in the jig to hold up as well as the hook itself. So I kind of like having the top hook. And yeah, I'm a single hook guy. I just like doing single hook on the front and the back. I've seen people run two, running four hooks together. And yeah, this will catch a big tuna too. You don't need to go with the big jig, but this is for a little more shallow presentation. This was when they're in like that 50 um, to really kind of, I'd say 150-foot range. You can get them with this. Outside of that, it's got a little too much flutter. It's a little too light. But I've caught tuna on this. I've caught tuna on the big ones deep. And then we've got the other one I carry. This is the Ogre, but this is a small one, like an 80 gram. These ones already come hooked. You can put bigger hooks on if you want. This is more of like a cast. You can drop this when they're pretty close. Within 100 feet, it's only 80 gram. This is also good at casting boils or when they're pretty shallow. So if they're getting close to the boat, or if you see a foamer or they're coming up and eating the live bait, this is the money right here. This is where you toss one of these. It's light. It'll kind of stay right within that range, like that 100, all the way from like 0 feet to probably 100 feet. That one will be effective down. But outside of that, you're probably going to lose some effectiveness on it. So depending what you're fishing for, I would bring one of everything, light to medium. Like I said, get the pre-rigged setup, and then I just do good size hooks on each end, one on the front, one on the back. It's all kind of preference, whatever you guys want to do, but that's how I run it. So thank you for the question. Hopefully that answered it for you. Let's see here. Question. Denny Perez, can we cast the 80 gram goblin, and have you had good action? Yeah, dude. I was just talking, I didn't even see your question, but yeah, it's still the ogre, right? I think we're going to keep it the ogre. I know we thought about renaming it the goblin, but yeah, the 80 gram, this thing it's pretty awesome, but it's got a sick kick on the retrieve. Somebody out here was saying they were just absolutely smashing them with the yellowtail and the calicos on that thing. But I've cast it. It's about the same weight as a like a surface iron. So if you've got a good jig stick, I throw it on I got a Taipan jig stick. One of the I've got the OCT, the one cool tuna, like special edition that Jeff had made. Dude, that thing is freaking awesome. And it fires that thing, dude, like huge. And what I do is I'll send it and I let it sink. So it'll do the slow pitch thing on the way down. And when you retrieve it, dude, it swims freaking awesome. It's got that narrow head and then the fat body, and it's narrow again. But it just it kicks back and forth, and then you can drop it again and it'll flutter. But yeah, 100%. The 80 grams like super versatile. So when they're keyed in on that smaller bait, even yellowtail and stuff like that, calicos, tuna, it's definitely going to be a slayer. You may, if you're going to know, if you're going to be throwing it at a bigger game, if you're going to be throwing it at tuna, I'd probably upgrade. I have one. I should have shown it because I was throwing one of these when we went on our last trip, and I did upgrade the hooks to about like this size. So at least I did the one on the front. The hooks on it are probably fine for, actually, I know they're fine for like a yellowtail little handle. Dorado would probably be fine. But if you're going to think you're going to throw it for tuna, I'd probably throw some better hooks on it. But yeah, just cover the gamut with the jigs. This all depends where they are in the range. I know that place in Vista. Yeah, it was probably the only tackle store in Vista. I forget what it's called though. Fisherman's not Fisherman's Access. Angler's Choice, right? I think is what it is. They don't carry my jigs, so I shouldn't give them any plug, but I know they do have these. I bet most places do have these. They're a little pricey. I mean, $16, but it saves you so much time and effort. I just buy like two of them. I've had two that I've been using all year so far. I haven't had to replace them. They've held up good. They haven't been rusting, so I just take them off and then fold them up like that and throw them back in my tackle bag. So it's been good. Have you heard of the type of J and LJ jigging rods from Shimano? Can I fish your jigs on these, or would a slope jig be better? I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with those rods, to be honest with you. You can use, I mean, you can realistically use any rod. It's not as effective. You know what I mean? If you're going to cast and retrieve, you obviously don't really need a slow pitch jigging rod because they're not going to cast that well anyways. But if you plan on vertical fishing and really working like the bottom and then the middle columns and stuff like that, I would get a slow pitch jigging rod. Primarily just because they're so much easier to use. They're designed to just make your life easier. The whole point is to flick that jig without you having to do it. If you have a real stiff rod, even some of the long fall rods, they're hard to work just constantly throughout the day and stuff like that. And the action's not as good. So, like, if you're casting and retrieving, a jig stick's probably better because it's just a different action. Or if you're shore fishing, it's different. But if you're going to go straight vertical fishing, I definitely, I'd vote for a traditional slow pitch rod. Uh, David Christmas says, when fishing local grounds, are the lings typically all the same size, or are some of those dragons swimming with the little ones? Um, I'm not really sure. The lingcods that I've caught haven't been monsters. Um, but they all, interestingly enough, they do tend to be the same size. I think we caught the last submission at sea. I think we brought up two or three, and Andreas who's in here caught one. I caught one as well, and they weren't like the huge monsters, but they were legals. They were like decent sized fish. Um, but yeah, they weren't the giants. And then the ones that I've caught in La Jolla, I've caught like two or three out there, kind of on that ridge. It's they've been a little smaller, not even legals, not even keepers. So it's hard to say. I know what you're saying. Did the big ones hang out with the little ones? And I'm not really sure. I've seen underwater footage, and um, they typically seem to be relative size, if that makes sense. I know. I think that's kind of a thing with fish. It's like the yellowtail. When they run together, they run in the same sizes. The juveniles stick to patties, and then the big ones come in to shore and then live on the islands, and then close within like 200 feet of land. Um, Spotties even tend to congregate with the larger ones together. So I feel like it's a fish trait. Even with bluefin, when they school, you'll get the foot when you're in like a pile of bluefin. A lot of times it's the little footballs running together, and then when it's the big boys run together. So I would say probably, to be honest with you, I can't verify that as fact, but just from fish behavior that I've experienced, big ones tend to sit with the big ones. Same thing with like rockfish. Um, I think because rockfish eat the dinks, they like cannibalize each other. So whenever that's a good sign when you're finding big ones, you're probably not going to find too many small ones because we fish for big fish and we've been finding small rockfish like inside the mouths of the big rockfish. But yeah, I feel like they stick together. I feel like it's one of those things where if you find the big ones, there's probably more big ones there. So Cal Steve said, Muto, that's how I caught my 80-pound bluefin. You caught it on the 80 gram or on which one? On the setup? That's awesome, dude. Congratulations, by the way. That's super cool. Mark Yamamoto, yo, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. Are you going on a La Jolla Yellowtail kayak this year? Yeah, I mean, why not? I've got my kayak. I haven't kayaked La Jolla in a long time. Ever since I got my boat, that I go to La Jolla, I just hop on my boat. So I've been to La Jolla a lot, but I usually go on my boat now. But I'd be down for a kayak trip out there. I think last time I went was with Kevin. We went last year, I think, and we went looking for yellowtail. Um, we didn't find any, but yeah, if you guys want to like go look for them for sure, I'd be down. Oh, semi prom. Yeah, I caught my bluefin tuna. Yeah, hell yeah, guys. I love seeing you guys killing it on these things. Caught my bluefin tuna last year on that javelin. Heck yeah. Yeah, I've caught him on the javelin. I've caught him on the samurai. I've caught him on the ogre. I haven't caught him on the small one yet. This one's still new, but dude, we're gonna. Somebody did has caught him on the bluefin. They were telling me about it, but I'm definitely gonna get him on that. War baits, fishing, anglers tackle. That's what it is. Afrin, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. Got to get you back on the show, dude. I know we talked about it. Text me. We'll find another date. Pacific Coast and Carlsbad. only have the small ones. What looking for the 80 gram? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. PCH. They're I was talking with Nick. He's on, or I'm sorry, Nate. He works at PCBT over there. He also works for BD Outdoors. He was on the show last week, and yeah, I think they're slow to adopt things. They've been buying the small ones for sure, and they've been doing multiple orders. So I know they've been selling. I gave them some samples of the big stuff, so hopefully they go fish it. Um, it's a slow process, you know. I think they're a little more conservative about putting new products on the shelves and stuff like that, which I understand. They're a smaller, definitely one of the smaller tackle stores. But yeah, let them know, man. If they don't have the 80s, just tell them that's what you want. It's stuff like that helps, guys. Like, so if they don't, if you don't see, if you don't have some, they don't have something that you want, ask them about it. We've gotten into a lot of tackle stores because people were going in there and asking for the submission jigs, and the people were reaching out to Kevin and us to stock them because people were asking for them so much. So if you go in there and are asking for like the big ones in the 80 grams, they'll carry them if they know that there's a demand for it. Um, so just say, hey man, do you have any 80 grams? Even if you just ask for it and they don't have it, they'll remember that somebody asked for something, because to them it's like they're not going to turn down sales. And so even if people are asking, they'll put two and two together. They're pretty smart. So even if, so if you don't see them on the shelf, ask them about it, because then a lot of these places where we've stocked, they've ended up carrying other. They've started with like the small stuff, and then they've ended up getting like the bigger jigs once they've, you know, tried out and had success with the other stuff. So I think in the future they probably will carry it. At least I hope so. I ordered from Warbase through PayPal and had it sent to my old address. Dude, no, that sucks, dude. Isn't that the worst? That's like tragedy. Oh man. Just show up at your old house, just like follow the tracking number and then intercept the UPS driver as he's like putting it down. Update your address and make it to the web, man. That's crazy. Oh, it already got delivered? Dude, that sucks, man. Just go hit him up. Go knock on their door. Like, hey, you guys get any war baits? Hopefully he's not a fisherman. And then it screw you over. Oh no. So why was taking so long? That sucks, dude. Joe, how's it going, man? Welcome to the show. I'm doing good, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Uh, oh, I need to catch my first yellowtail at deep sea, man. I think they're easier if you're talking like deep. I think they're easier to catch at deep sea, to be honest with you, than they are at the islands. Those big ones are like, they're a little smarter, but then even when you catch them, they're harder to land when they're that big. The island yellowtails are like, they're no joke. Deep sea, those little patty ones, they're like, they're so stupid. They eat anything. They're not that big. Those ones are pretty easy to catch. Patty yellows are like, they're kind of like glorified barracuda. They're not that bad. Island yellowtail, those ones are like, those are no joke. Hell yeah, dude. Let them know. You're not getting away. Go knock on that door. I'll be heading down from Utah on Saturday morning for the Apps and Taps and our Pacific Queen charter next week. Really considering killing some time, hitting some base bodies. Any suggestions? The 10 and 15 gram, man, you guys they've been killing it. If you're going to fish from shore, some of these dudes, look up like, what's that dude's name? It's, gosh, it's Tats, the Tats guy. He's always posting up, dude. He's a killer. He's been fishing the jigs like crazy. Um, Kruger told me about him too. Let me see if I can find it on here real quick. I know, riveting podcast when I'm looking at my phone for stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, oh yeah, Lunchbox Tats. Check out his page. Even Sammy too. Sammy P on you. Check his out. But this guy killed it, dude. He fishes from shore a lot, and just like the last day, he caught halibut from shore. He caught all kinds of uh, big spotties and stuff like that. He was going with, I think they fished the 15 gram. Even Brian hit up Brian, and Kevin kills it too from the shore. They like, I think the 15 gram. The orange pumpkin has tended to be like the color of choice from shore for some reason. Um, and the sumo, like that 15 gram orange sumo, even the assassin from shore, but probably the 10 or 15 gram seems to be the money. Joey Basson fishes them from shore too. I don't see him in here, but yeah, definitely the smaller jigs seem to be the magic. I think just because it's more shallow, but yeah, these guys kill it. You should ask them where they're, if they're just. I don't even think a lot of them are fishing near the pilings. They're just sending them in the grass and bouncing them on the way up. So you basically just cast it out, lift and retrieve, lift and retrieve. The whole idea is you want it to just kind of fall, lift and fall as you're bringing it towards you. If you can find structure like rocks, or like if you can pitch it near a dock or something like that, it really works the same way as fishing from a kayak. Just kind of toss it near a dock, near a piling, and kind of bounce it a few times. But if you know where there's grass, even out in like an open bay, they'll eat it from the thing. Yeah, lunchbox tats. That dude kills it, dude. He's been absolutely friggin' destroying from shore with those things. Hit him up on Instagram. Probably even message him. He could probably tell you how he's working them. But he likes that orange pumpkin, I know. Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Purple face crying, bro. Take me out with you when you go to La Jolla anytime when you go for yellowtail. I mean, are you? I'm not like an expert yellowtail kayak fisherman by any means, so I don't want to get your hopes up. That I would have like, if we do go, I'll convince Kevin to go with us, and then we'll act like we're pros. But we'll have him like or Chris. I gotta hit up Chris Blevins too. He's another slayer. Maybe I'll text him. We'll get like a couple of ringers out there to take us, and then we'll like act like we're professionals. But yeah, if you want to go, we can set something up. If you guys want to do like a group trip, maybe we'll do like a kayak La Jolla run. I'm down for that. We used to do them all the time. Maybe in like early July or something. Like I got a lot going on in June, but maybe even the end of June or early July. I feel like we should try to put something together. I mean, obviously we can't guarantee yellowtail; those are kind of elusive, but we can look for them throughout the morning, and then all else fails, we can go fish sheephead and calicos and stuff at the kelp, and we'll find something for sure. I've even got rockfish spots out there that are like pretty dang good. Yeah, man, no problem. Yeah, Sammy, you've been working that rainbow 10 to 15. It seems to be me the money right now. They're keyed in on that small one, 10 to 15 gram. Is there fresh water at the La Jolla boat ramp to flush out your drive? And if so, is there a hose? Should I bring one with me? There is no boat ramp at La Jolla. We usually launch from, but to answer your question, no. Um, I launch out of Mission Bay and then drive up to La Jolla. There is no washdowns there, unfortunately. The only ones that I know of in like San Diego County is up in Oceanside, which is North County, San Diego. And I have launched from Oceanside and gone down to La Jolla. It's actually not that bad. It's a 20-mile trip, but if you fish like all the way down, it's not really a big thing. So you could do that. Now Oceanside does have a washdown, like Dana Point does, but yeah, nobody around there unfortunately has a washdown. That's why I like going out of Oceanside. Kind of the fishing's hit or miss. It's like not that great, but I like fishing there because they do have the washdown, and I don't have to like do it at home, and I can just put my boat there. And it's only like 25 cents for 5 minutes, so it's like super cheap to wash your boat down. But yeah, when we launched La Jolla, our kayaks, we just launched from the beach. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, you got to do a beach launch. Maybe practice it first if we do plan a trip. You probably don't want it to be your first time. Unless we go on a calm day, we can take some newbies out. I mean, I'd actually be down for that. Just be prepared that we are doing a surf launch when we do that. So we'll try to pick a day. This is the thing, when you fish La Jolla, and this was one of somebody's question too. So hopefully we're answering this as well that I didn't get to. But Nick Jones 799 said kayak fishing for bigger species outside the harbor like white sea bass, yellowtail, halibut, sheephead. So this is all kind of going along with his question that he was answering. But when we do launch La Jolla, we find a day that's usually suitable for the surf because you can't just pick up any day and go out there. You know, if it's 3 foot waves at 6 second intervals, you'll never make it out. You get crushed. But if we could find like foot and a half waves at like 12 or 16 second intervals, it's easy. Anybody can launch in that. We can go somewhere in between. I don't mind launching in like the hairier stuff, but if you guys are new, it depends how many new people we have go. We'll have to find kind of a calmer day so we can get everybody out. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely down for that. But yeah, Mission Bay is where I launch typically when I go to La Jolla. And I have launched from Oceanside, but it is a drive. So that's the way to do it. And no fresh water, unfortunately. I mark fish on my yak and drop straight down 15 grams. Stellar shad sumo has been fire for me. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, if you can see them, that's like the easiest way. The kayak, it's almost like cheating. If you can see them or you can get to like some structure or piling, literally just drop it straight down. And it's almost like too easy, man. They could just come and eat that thing. But yeah, the shore, they do work from shore. These guys are killing it from shore. Brian likes to fish, fishes them from shore. Kevin Nakata did really well at Spotty Bowl last year, fishing them from shore. Lunchbox Tats, like I said, Joey Basson fishes them from shore a lot. I fished them from shore. I've gone down to the San Diego off of Shelter Island there and fished them and had a little bit of luck. So it's definitely doable. Just a little bit different than the vertical drive. It's not quite as easy. You got to work from a little more. Chris says, "Oh yeah, I saw that dude on his Instagram page. He did. He got a boat too. He got like a smaller skiff, which is pretty cool. So I know he got rid of his getting rid of that PA. Yeah, somebody should go buy his. Maybe he's got some of that yellowtail magic on it. You know, there's like people say you got fishy boats and stuff like that. Like a boat that was really successful catching fish, and somebody buys it and it like still catches fish. Yeah, I don't know if that rubs off on kayaks, but somebody should go buy that kayak because that dude's killed a lot of yellowtail on that thing. Yeah, dude, let's definitely do it then. I'll plan something for sure, and we'll get it together, and maybe we'll put it in the MMFC Discord, and then I'll announce it here, and we'll get something together. It's been a while since we've gone out, but yeah, I'd be down for that. Let's do it in the next couple weeks. Try to plan on something. I'll go out there and fish and see if we can slay. Yeah, dude, he's crazy. He gets after it, man. I do knows how to fish those yellowtail, and he basically keeps it simple. He likes to make um he makes bait. Usually mackerel is the key. He just puts the sabiki down, fills up his bait tank, and he just pretty much trolls a mackerel around. It's kind of one of those like bulletproof ways to do it. You know, whether they're there or not, it's a different story, but it's a pretty solid way to do it. You got to cover a lot of ground. You just keep moving and just troll a mackerel around. Oh, the 14-inch. Let me see. Yeah, he sent me pictures of it. That was pretty cool with him and his family on it. That's awesome. Yeah, Tim, I'm down too. We'll go on a boat trip for sure. Or if we want to get a bunch of boats, I'm down with that too. Boat or kayak. I mean, I'll do both. I've got I've got both, so I'm down either way. I mean, I fish every week, so it's like I'm always out there. Whether it's I launch from somewhere, every week I'm out there fishing. So whether it's on my kayak or a boat, yeah, it's just a matter of we'll just have everybody meet together and do it. So I'm down either way. I've been going on my boat lately in La Jolla. It's mostly calicos though. Um, but yeah, I had some pretty epic calico days out there when they're pushing a bait and stuff. I haven't seen the white sea bass around. So that guy that asked the question on Instagram, the white sea bass is, I think they're there, but I haven't heard anything about them lately. They kind of come and go. When they're on, they're on. When they're there, they're there. But other than that, when they're not around, same thing with the yellowtail. It's like they're in La Jolla or they're not in La Jolla. It's pretty rare that they're just like, well, there's one or two there. They usually come in or they don't come in. So it's not always a guarantee on those, but you pretty much always guarantee like some sheephead and some calico. Those are pretty much always there. Even some like rockfish are there just on the outskirts that aren't too far. So we can get on something. I'm confident we can. There's some sort of fish that we can get. It's pretty hard to skunk out there. Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't. I have not caught a yellowtail in La Jolla, to be honest with you. It's not easy, dude. And I remember me and Salty went out like 2 years ago. We went out there like every weekend, dude. We were always in La Jolla. And we were just like Dario too. It was like us three were constantly. And then even after that, like Oscar was going, me and Oscar and Mark. Dude, we were like went out a lot. We like found birds. We were like trolling. It's hard, man. Caden got on one. Sometimes he's in here in the chat. You got a fat ass one, a big one too. But it's cool. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. You got to kind of know the spots. I know some better spots now though. I kind of have a little bit better understanding of how to get them. So I feel like my chances are a lot better than they used to be when I first started going out there. Yeah, dude, 100%. Just load up a rockfish like that. That's easy, dude. I got some rockfish spots that are like almost pretty much guaranteed out there. Like if you're not catching anything, we paddle out of ways, and I could put us on some rockfish for sure. Yeah, dude, I remember that. Right, you were fishing cut squid, right? It was like a year and a half ago or something like that. So awesome, dude. I remember that. Hell yeah. That's when that squid bite was like freaking fire. Like 2 years ago. It was like a year and a half ago or something like that. I don't think it was last year, was it? I think it was the year before last. There was that squid beds were there pretty thick, and it was crazy because like Salty found the squid, and we found the squid. Um, we caught squid. We had squid jigs. Like we found everything, man. It was just like I thought I was on one time, and it was just a big ass stingray. It sucks. And I was fishing next to somebody on a kayak, dude. They hooked up like right next to me and pulled one. It was like so disappointing, man. So I've been there when they're there. It's just tough. Just said I'll bring my boat down from Arizona. Okay, yeah. So Mission Bay. Any pointers on where we go for rockfish? We'll be coming down 25th to 30th. If you're going to be on your boat, I'd like to fish with you. Yeah, I should be around. I'll double check with you, even if I'm not, because I know I am going on a trip the 21st through 22nd. So I don't know if I'll turn around that quick. But if you're on Instagram, Joe, hit me up, and I'll give you some coordinates to some rockfish spots. I went and found some spots on the 9 um, last Saturday, and dude, it was every freaking drop. They were fish. They were decent size. They weren't like the behemoths that me and Kevin caught. I mean, nobody's gonna know about that spot except me and Kevin, but that's our competition spot. But these ones were like they were good for like rockfish. They were still good. So they were bigger than the ones you get that a lot of these sport boats catch. It was every drop. We're getting like two. I was every single time I went down, I was getting a fish. So I could hook you up with those coordinates too. I have them marked. You just go there and drop, and you'll catch fish for sure. And it's pretty close. We're probably only talking. This is a zone on the 9 mile bank, so you only have to go like 15 miles off from Point Loma. I'm just gonna try to save them by it for a fish sonar, so my chances for the yellowtail should be higher. Yeah, I mean I've got all the electronics, on our stuff. It's just it's not seeing them. It's just whether they're there or not is the thing. They're not always there. That's probably the biggest thing I would say. They don't necessarily just live there all the time. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. When they're there, you can catch them. But if they just when we say the bite slow, sometimes they're just not around. They're pelagic. They move. They don't live there like the calicos and sheephead and stuff like that. They roam around wherever the bait is. What size mustad hooks are you rigging up on the jigs? I've got the 6 O's. I was debating on throwing in the 4 on top. Yeah, these are like sevens. Do we use like sevens and tens? I've got like some big ass ones. I think this one's on the smaller size. This is probably like a 6. I think that should be fine. I've got an 11 that I've used that work, and they're like massive, but they still work. A 6 and a 4 on top. I think you're fine, dude. I don't know why that wouldn't work. I feel like that'd be plenty. I feel like it'd be plenty. Sinead La Jolla on July 1st. Caden Stingray is moving to the East Coast, so it's his last La Jolla. Oh, it is. Yeah. Oh, I saw that he was moving. That's too bad, man. Yeah, Caden, he's a young dude. He was fairly new to kayak fishing, and I feel like he's caught a yellowtail. He got a nice, I think, a big white sea bass out there. The dude does really, really well at La Jolla. Actually, it's pretty impressive for the short time that like he's gone out there. He's really put in the work, and he's gotten some really nice fish. So if he's go out on July 1st, let me see here. July 1st is that's a Saturday. Why don't we maybe let's shoot for July 1st and see if that works. I mean, that should be fine. I don't know why that wouldn't work for me. Why don't we tentatively mark it July 1st, especially if Caden's going to go out there? Maybe we just all mob out there and hit it up. I'm not on Instagram. Then let's see. Maybe just in on my website, just go to submissionfishing.com and through the info page, you can send me a message. Just send me your phone number through there, and then I'll text you back. That'd probably be the easiest way. Do you guys? We do have a Discord server. I don't have a Discord server. I'm part of the Mad Max Fishing Club, and they have a Discord server, and there's a ton of dudes on there. Submission Fishing doesn't have one, um, but if you check out Fishy Hour on Wednesdays, Roman does the show, and that's what a lot of us are in that Discord server, and that's how we talk and we communicate like outside of this show is through the Mad Max Fishing Club Discord server. But I don't have a link to that, unfortunately. But if you reach out to Roman, he can give you the link. Roman Castro, he's on Instagram too. Just tell him Submission Fishing sent you. Ask him for the Discord link. I'm sure he'll get you in there. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. He's got a YouTube channel. He's on Instagram. He's a cool dude. As long as and it's not like an exclusive club. Anybody can join. As long as you're cool, and you're not a douche and you're respectful and, you know, you're not a jerk. Everybody's welcome. It's not like some special entry to get in. It's pretty much open to everybody. So yeah, check out the Discord server. And that's where we set up a lot of like the trips and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd be down. Yeah, maybe let's plan on July 1st. I think let's plan on it. I mean, if something changes, I think that'd be cool. Let's see. I'm off that day for dude. That might be the day for sure. The La Jolla kayak trip. That'd be fun. The 80 gram and 60 gram. Can I get away with 4 O's if I'm going bluefin tuna during the day or a size down? 4 O's would probably be fine. Because I mean, we catch. I've seen like 175-pound tuna get caught on like 2-0 circle hooks. Like they don't. Although the circle hook does get them right in the corner of the mouth, these are usually like sometimes they're in the. It all depends where you hook them. Sometimes it's in the head or the side, or you get them in the lip. But it should be fine. Launch at dawn. Yeah, we do got to be there early. That's your best chance to get them. Launch before sunrise. If we do it, I think that sounds good. But we'll maybe do a prep show before. I'll talk about what time we get there, what to bring, what we need. But yeah, definitely before sunrise, because especially if you guys want yellowtail, that's your best shot. Kind of during daybreak. But then again, if the bait's popping off and there's birds, you can find them all throughout the day. So we'll see what happens. That might be the day. I mean, we might have July 1st. We might have already just decided it. Let's plan on that then. I don't think I have anything going on, so I'll be down for that. Hell yeah, that's good stuff. So I'll get maybe I'll get all the details together. We'll get like a launch time and where to meet and everything like that, and get it all finalized. So if you guys want to kind of plan on that, I think it'd definitely be cool. And yeah, with that being said, guys, check out again one more time Apps and Taps, CCA event. Check it out. You can buy a ticket at the door at the Portuguese Hall in San Diego, or you can get them on the CCA website. I think it's 70 or $75. You get a CCA membership, and then you get into Apps and Taps. Apps and Taps, they're gonna have live music. So with the entry fee, they usually give you like a little pint thing. So then you can go get there was like craft beers were everywhere. So you get to I think you get to. I don't think they charge you. I don't drink, so I don't know, but I don't think. I think the whole point is the alcohol is included in the price of the ticket. Captain Dan's making pizzas. They're gonna have a sushi place, which is all included. Um, some cupcake dessert bar. They're gonna have a bluefin tuna that somebody caught for um, making the sushi. So it's a good time. I'll be there. Salty's gonna be there. A lot of the guys from the chat will be in here. Captain Dan will be there. Arnie, a lot of these dudes. So if you want to come say what's up, come hang out. There's lots of raffles, lots of prizes. It's just fun. It's a good time. You're hanging out with a bunch of anglers. Um, Talk fishing, win some prizes, eat some good food. It's a blast. I've been there last couple years. So yeah, Arnie said $75 individual entry. Oh, and the pulled pork sliders. Can't forget the pulled pork sliders. That's a lot of food. That's a lot of good food. So hell yeah. If you guys can make that, apps and taps, definitely check it out. And Nick said, yeah, you need to pedal 5 to 10 minutes to get outside the MPA. It's more like 15 minutes, but 5 minutes? Damn, dude. You must be hauling ass. That's quick to get out of the MPA. I guess you could do it. Yeah, but if you go, and we'll go over all that stuff too. But if we go in a group, we'll make sure nobody's fishing in the MPAs and stuff. I've caught nice reds in 250 feet. What's your favorite depth for La Jolla? For rockfish, uh, yeah, right around. I mean, I'll go to the dude. I'll drop 500 feet in the canyon. I've gotten some good fish there, but I know a lot of people don't like fishing that deep. But yeah, right there, like that 180-foot range, I've gotten some really good reds. But I'll go up north just outside the MPA and I'll bury it 600 feet. I don't care. That's where the real fish are. Throwing it deep, man. I've got some decent reds, pretty shallow though, for sure. But yeah, definitely. Thanks for joining, Tim. Hey, bonus. We'll have a guy doing fire. Oh, really? Well, I'm definitely going now. Who's gonna be doing it? You? If you do the fire knife demo, Arnie, I'll definitely be in. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. I try to say the rockfish I was fishing in canyon as well as massive ones. Yeah, dude, it's true because nobody's fished there. Only the big fish are going that far, so it's like the fortune favors the bold, dude, for sure. It's high. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely a lot greater reward. All right, guys, I'll let you all go. Thanks for joining me. Had a great time. Great seeing all you guys. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram or through the submissionfishing.com page. If you guys want to get some submission jigs, check out submissionfishing.com. We got all that stuff for you. And then all of our tackle stores. If you guys want to go to Fishing Reps and put in submission fishing, he's got a dealer finder. We're in like probably almost 20 stores at this point. There's a whole bunch out there, probably one near you. Thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you next week and we'll start planning this little Hoya trip. And Captain Dan's not going to be there. He'll be there in spirit only, but he will have the pie crew filling in for me. But I personally made the pies before okay. Captain Dan won't be there, but the pizzas will be there. So let's be honest. We all just really want the pizzas. Just kidding, Captain Dan. We're going to miss you. All right, guys. Hopefully you're out there fishing. Go get some lines wet. Go catch some fish. Go enjoy the weather. Go enjoy San Diego in our fishery or anywhere in California, anywhere, even if you're in Florida, Washington, it doesn't matter. Freshwater, just go out there and fish and do it while you can and enjoy. All right, guys. Until next time. Oos.